Hello, everybody, and welcome in. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today. For today's video, we are going to be getting into The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2. We had just finished up the good campaign for Battle for I'm sorry. We just finished up the campaign for the Battle for Middle-earth 1, and now it's on to the good campaign for Battle for Middle-earth 2. I can't say that. That's a little bit of a tongue twister right now. Normally it just rolls off the tongue without any problems, but just today I could not say it. Wow. All right. Anyways, that's recorded. So, moving on. What we're going to be doing today though is that I kind of wanted to have this be more of like an intro video to the campaign as opposed to like a first part of the story campaign itself. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through the basic tutorial, an advanced tutorial, and then I'm going to be playing the game cinematic uh, to close the video out. And then I'm going to be having the first part of the good campaign come out probably an hour right after this video goes live. So hope you guys enjoy it. Nice little casual start to a new game, but a game that is very near and dear to my heart. I grew up playing this just by myself. You know, online play wasn't really a thing for me, so I never really got good with online. I'm kind of hoping that I actually can do like online streams with this once I get uh, all these episodes recorded for it. So that'll be interesting because Baphomet has always had like it hasn't been the biggest community, but it always has been a very loyal community for this game. And there's still people working on patches and modding it and everything. And there's just a lot of fun stuff that I think we can sit down and do. And I'm hoping to go through that at some point in the future. So, but anyways, enough of me rambling on here. Let's go ahead and get into the basic tutorial and get started.
Welcome, my lord, to the White Mountains. We've long awaited your arrival. This pass has been long forgotten, and as a result, goblins from the Misty Mountains have ventured all the way south and infested this area. If we don't do something about them quickly, they may spread all the way to Minas Tirith. But first, we'll have to get you battle-worthy for the task ahead. Moving around the field of battle is important in controlling your army. To navigate the map, hold down the right mouse button and move your mouse around.
All right, so we are in. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do the tutorial first was because it's kind of like the last send-off that we have as far as like a story mode goes for Gondor. What they did was in Battle 2 is that they combined Gondor and Rohan into the same faction called the Men of the West. Now, personally, I think that was probably the best move that they could have done, although some people have modded and done Rohan and Gondor as their own factions. Just because they wanted that separation, which again I think is also perfectly valid. But personally, I think for the sequels and what they were doing, I think it was pretty much a good idea because Rohan in Battlefield 1 was pretty much just cavalry, elves, and heroes. And since elves were their own faction, all that really left for Rohan was just Cav and heroes. And what they did was that they made the Rohirrim the elite Cav guard for the Men of the West. And you had all the Rohan heroes with them included into Gondor's listing. So now with the Rise of the Witch King, that changed a little bit more where they added the Knights of... What was it? The Swan Knights. Were they Knights of Galadriel? I don't know. It's not Galadriel, that's not the right name. But anyways, it's been a long time since I looked at the lore. But what basically happened is that they added the Swan Knights as the hero unit for the Men of the West. Basically Gondor, because that's the majority of troops. But they at least added peasant spearmen in and the Men of the West faction to the DLC of this game. Even though Angmar was kind of more of a sequel onto itself, but still called Battlefield Mode 2, so it counts. Anyways, though, so you can move your cursor with your right click, but I generally just use the edges.
On your keyboard to do this. Excellent. I see you've brought
And
some
arrow keys,
soldiers
I guess.
with you. Left click on them with your cursor.
So the only like main problem I have with this, the arrow keys being the thing, is because you can't change keybinds and settings. These are the only settings you get. That's it. So, and this is kind of modded. This is not original. But yeah, that's where we're at on this stuff. So I generally find it annoying. No, I'm not trying to exit. I'm trying to resume. Generally find it annoying using right click personally. I either use arrows, it's much faster, or just do this if I'm following a specific unit. Anyways, we are playing the game, so let's go ahead and hit the unit.
Now that you have them selected, move them into the camp by right-clicking on the ground in the spotlight up ahead. Those spotlights will help guide you through this mission, so keep an eye out for them.
Let's go!
Boom. Wish we could add this stuff onto our bases, but
Now for our mission here. The goblins have been raiding our camps and need to be dealt with quickly. We need you to lead this battle. Currently, you know how to select one battalion of units, but you'll need to know how to select an army. In order to select multiple battalions quickly, click and hold down the left mouse button on empty space and drag your mouse. A selection box will appear, and any units that are in this box will be selected for you. Select the battalions in the spotlights by using the selection box method.
there you go.
Now, move those units up to the spotlight ahead by right-clicking on the ground with them selected.
Pretty much the same as Battlefield Earth 1 right now. But the game did advance a lot of things for RTS at the time it released.
The goblins are attacking. We need to send reinforcements. Select your army again by using the selection box method. Now, issue them an attack command by right-clicking on those goblins down there. You'll notice that as you move your cursor over the goblins, it changes to a red attack cursor. This red attack cursor will indicate what is an enemy to you.
Okay. Bring them down, boys. Then we'll send this unit to attack behind over here. It's 3 units of goblins from the looks of it. Oh, it is just 2. That's weird. Looked like 3 for a second from me.
Congratulations! You've just won your first battle. Unfortunately, our celebration will have to wait. More reports are coming in that other camps are being attacked and need support. A quick way to find out where you need to go is by looking at the Palantir. The Palantir is located at the bottom left of your screen. Within it, you'll find the mini-map. The mini-map is an overhead view of the entire map. Currently, the camp locations on the mini-map are being flashed. White flashes inform you of objective locations, while a red flash would indicate where your forces are being attacked. On the Palantir, you'll find the Objectives menu. If you forget what your current objective is, click on that button and it will be displayed. There are 2 types of objectives: main objectives and bonus objectives. Main objectives appear in white text and need to be accomplished in order to complete a mission. Bonus objectives appear in green text. You may choose to complete them, but they won't count against you if you don't. And finally, any objective with a check mark in its box is one that you've completed.
It's kind of an obvious one
To
there,
the
bud.
objective screen, click on the Resume Game button at the bottom.
Now, normally this would be fine for a tutorial, but the problem with Battlefield Earth 2 is that it got rid of the campaign scoring system, so like there's absolutely no motivation to do bonus objectives other than if you want to waste your time doing it. So, that's kind of don't know. Personally, I think game design works better when you reward people for doing more, but it's whatever. Because at least in Battlefront North 1, like that, you could technically do like a speed run of the game for a certain score or something like that. But in this, it's just kind of, I don't know. Feel like there should have been a score system for the campaign. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, move your army to those camps and help eliminate the goblin threats.
All right, boys, let's get going. Get the archers first. Goblin archers are annoying because goblins are kind of like the Zerg unit in this game. You can spawn a whole bunch of them without needing to worry about them a lot because they're just sacrificial units anyway. But goblin archers are kind of annoying because they move as fast as these guys do. Come on, boys, wipe them out. Yeah, we lost 2 boys there. That's fine.
Thank you, sir. We should be fine from now on. Hurry, though. The other outpost is still under attack.
Ruh.
Ready yourselves!
Let's go ahead and send these boys down.
Together!
Actually, send those guys there.
Prepare for battle!
Send those boys there. I always thought it was funny how they'd be waving their swords when you gave an attack order, even if they're like a mile away from the troops that they're supposed to be fighting. Yeah, boys, wipe them out. Save the camp. Save the camp.
Came just in time. We weren't sure how much longer we could have held them off.
Well done.
I only lost
The
one guy,
camps are
wow.
now secure, and the road between them is safe. While our camps up here are sufficient to hold this road, it's not strong enough to hold this mountain. We need to set up a larger camp, but we'll need a great deal of land with which to do so. Up ahead is just such an expanse of land, but it is held by spider lairs. These lairs are infested with creatures that have no allegiance to anyone save their own.
Oh, these guys.
The creatures won't stray far from their lairs, so they only pose a threat in their immediate area. Clear those lairs out, and we should be able to establish our new camp here.
Alright, cool. I didn't like spiders very much. Not really a fan of all that. Creep me out. Sorry for anyone who has arachnophobia. I kind of have a little bit of it too, but it's not that bad. It's okay, we're wiping the bugs out. Bring it down, bring it down. One thing I do appreciate about Battlefront 2 is that a lot of the building models are very well designed.
When a lair is destroyed,
Look at that.
it will leave behind rubble. You will also need to destroy the rubble, or else the lair will rebuild itself and the creatures will come forth from it again.
Yeah. The infamous banner carrier death. These guys have almost like no health, so like the moment the unit gets into a fight, the first thing down is the banner carrier. And of course, as soon as we destroy a lair, we get the treasure from it.
Excellent. An abandoned outpost. We can capture this building for our own. To capture this outpost, select a battalion and right-click on the flag next to the outpost. While the building is being captured, its current flag will lower, and our flag will raise in its place.
Oh, and that reminds me, if you guys need to move the camera,
The
it's
outpost
your
is ours.
keypad.
It will now provide further resources for our army. Now to get started on our camp. We sent a builder your way for constructing our new camp. Builders are what you use to construct all the buildings we'll need in order to establish a camp. Select a builder by left-clicking on it.
And this is probably the best part of
A quick way to select a builder
the sequel.
is by clicking on the Select Nearest Builder button next to the Palantir at the bottom of your screen. You'll notice that a menu appears on the right-hand side of the screen. This menu will show all building options currently available. First and foremost, we'll need a fortress. To build a fortress, while having your builder selected, left-click on the Fortress button, which is flashing now. In order to place down a building, left-click anywhere on the land. For this base, however, we'll need you to place your fortress in the spotlighted area.
Anyways, as I was saying, so the biggest improvement Battlefield 2 did is that it made base building out basically accessible anywhere. So in the original game, it was only camps that we could build units and build buildings and spawn units from them. But in this one, it takes a more normal RTS way of building and allows you to build literally anywhere you want, so long as the terrain makes sense. And this was what made Battlefield 2 my favorite games, that I could be like a base builder in the Lord of the Rings while also commanding armies, and just made it all fantastic. My only critique is that I wish there were just more buildings that we could choose from, because Gondor tends to have the most buildings out of all the factions, I think. I'll have to double check that, but other than like maybe the dwarves or Mordor or something, Gondor has the most buildings, and even then it's not that much. So like when I was base building, it would only be like, I mean, I would make it a relatively decent sized base, but it would only be like a few production buildings and then a few wells and statues for decoration. That was it. And just like this, we need more than this. We need more than this. But anyways, enough of me ranting. Let's continue on with the tutorial.
While our fortress is building, let me tell you a bit about it. Fortresses can produce more builders, as well as heroes, such as our Lord Boromir.
And Boromir, who is still alive in the game.
Now that we have a fortress built, we'll need an economy to fund our defenses. Select the builder and build a farm on the spotlight in the upper left. As you place the farm down, notice that it has a percentage attached to it. This percentage will tell you how productive it will be, given its current location on land.
This is the best part. Best place to place it, but we'll follow the light for now.
Let's build it.
Never forget your resource buildings, boys. Just sort of remembering that we might get a copyright strike for the
Things
music.
such as mountains, water, or other obstacles will reduce the productivity of a farm. The resources farms produce can be tracked by the number at the bottom left of the Palantir. Farms contribute to your army's command point limit, so the more farms you build, the more battalions you can command. Your command point limit can be tracked by the number at the bottom right of the Palantir. We now need to build up some structures to train more units for our army. Select the builder again, and build a barracks on the next spotlight.
Let's get working.
Yeah. We need to build a barracks.
Time to start building.
Yeah, I think they really did a good job on building design in this game. And there's even like NPC units that will move
barracks
along
will be
the
able to
patrolling
produce
area.
soldiers, as well as tower guard. The last thing we'll need is an archery range. Build one of those on the other spotlight.
And what I like about these designs too is that they change depending upon the time of day you have and the weather conditions that you're fighting in. So like this is all snowy, whereas if you're playing like on a sort of spring time map, you'll have like green grass around it and it'll look like a normal pathway instead of all the snow. So just fun little details like that. And if you're playing at night, all the buildings have glows to them in the windows, which is also really nice, and I appreciate that. I always appreciate good building design in games. Not that I ever had a desire to become an architect, but, you know, it's something I appreciate. I like the little
Here, we
details.
can train archers and rangers. As well as having structures, our base will need fortifications. In order to fortify our base, we'll need to set up wall spans. Wall spans begin with wall hubs, which can be built from either our fortress or from our builders. In order to build them from the fortress, click on the build plot that is now highlighted. Notice the different options of things you can build. One of them is the wall hub. Click on that button to begin building it now.
Right. Sometimes I get overzealous with building walls. It's just something that I kind of like to do.
Now that the wall hub is completed, you can select it. This will bring up a wall expense button. Click that button and move your cursor to the spotlight to the right. As you move your mouse, you'll see a see-through wall. This is how your wall will look when you've finished building it. To build it, left-click on the ground where the spotlight is.
Alright. Is what I would normally do in games. I would build walls, like, and section off areas for specific building units. So, like, I would always have, like, a barracks, but then I might have a wall around the barracks and then a wall around the archer range and everything. So if my base would be attacked by the AI, they'd have to fight through everything just to get to my units, my unit spawners. Why did this not count? Oh, we can do that. There we go. That should count. It's technically in the area. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it would be like that. Oh. Yeah, you can upgrade every single portion on the wall too, so that's kind of nice. Very useful. And each faction has its own buildings and strategies with walls as well. So like Gondor and the dwarves are the best ones for walls generally, because they have the most amount of upgrades you can have for them. Not just gates and such, but you have the archer tower and then the trebuchet, which is always cool. Alright, this better count for this or I'm going to be kind of annoyed.
Now,
there we go.
Click on the wall hub you just built in the spotlight and build another wall expanse off to the south along the ridge. Another spotlight is set up showing you where your wall should end.
Yep. I'll try it right there. And you can even upgrade these as well in the tutorial, so I want to show you guys what that looks like. Pretty much the same upgrades as in Battlefield 1.
Now repeat what
But
you just
still-
did on the
still I
northern
like it.
side of our fortress. Select the build plot highlighted and build a wall span to the spotlight to the right. Then build to the next spotlight in the north.
Keep going. Who needs something built?
Build more farms and such.
We've improved the archery range.
Yeah.
Position.
Prove that one more time.
We've improved the barracks.
Yeah. And prove that one more time. And let's build this wall out. These guys are just going everywhere with every single improvement.
Ready yourselves.
My only complaint about the walls is that if you're on uneven terrain, because they build it in sections, the sections will be off. And that
Excellent
is
job.
extremely noticeable.
Our camp is better defended,
Like that.
but still not impenetrable. We will need to build wall defenses. You may upgrade a wall with offensive structures such as arrow towers and trebuchets. Or you can build postern gates and large gates with which to move your armies through. You may also turn it into another wall hub. A good wall defense is the trebuchet. Select any wall segment and build a trebuchet upgrade on it.
We'll build it right over here. Let's get an arrow tower there. And we'll get a trebuchet over here and an arrow tower there, just so you guys can see that a little bit more.
Make ready! Go forth!
And we're almost there. There we go, there's the tower.
Our base has begun. Now, let's build some units to defend it. Train 2 battalions of Gondor soldiers from the barracks now.
Anyways, let's go ahead and do it. Join these boys up.
Soldier battalion standing by!
Great. Now train 2 battalions of Gondor archers from the archery range.
Get those guys on that. So another thing that I really liked about the improvements of Battlefield Earth is that they added in custom artworks for everything, for the most part, and I really liked that. So like, even in the original game, even if it was the same pose, it was different. It was a completely different kind of art style, and I really like the whole sort of fantasy, ancient sort of scroll kind of imagery that they have on all of this stuff now. Because you'll see this even on like the builders too. Like it looks like it's painted on parchment, along with all the other heroes and everything. So it's really, I think it's really nice aesthetic. Oh, I hit escape when I should have been hitting something else. Anyways though, we can get fire arrows. Yeah, we'll get the troops first, then the fire arrows, and Athelian Rangers. We can't get them now, but they're one of my favorite units. Rangers in general are my favorite units.
And lastly, we'll need a hero to lead our troops.
Yep.
Heroes can be purchased from the fortress. And if your hero should fall in battle, they can be revived from the fortress as well. Let's go. To summon a hero, select your fortress and click on the Heroes button. This will bring up options of all the current heroes you're allowed to build. Right now, Boromir is residing in our fortress. Click on his portrait to summon him.
Yep. There's Boromir. See, there's his little custom art icon. See, a lot of improvements, just aesthetically and mechanically in this game that I just always appreciated. And you can switch into block formation and loose formation, just like the original. Which I guess serves a purpose, but I don't know, I never use it personally. Get some fire arrows going. I don't believe any of these upgrades saves, though, to the next part of the tutorial. Pretty sure they're two separate missions, considered at least. Anyways, there's Boromir. He's about to come out.
Welcome, Lord Boromir. Heroes in general have an array of special powers and abilities that make them unique and vital for a strong army. Select Boromir now. You will find a hero's abilities on the Palantir. Some are passive abilities, which means they're always enabled, such as Boromir's leadership ability. Other powers can be set to autocast by right-clicking its button in the Palantir. You will see its outline sparkle when this is enabled. Our army is built now and Gondor's new castle is ready. Excellent work. You're now ready to command an army and defend these passes.
The goblins, they're here! A large force has gathered and is marching toward this very spot.
There is no time to waste. My lord, you will have to defend this base as you've done before with the camps. Remember, select your army and right-click on the enemy units to issue attack orders. You can select one battalion at a time and issue them attack orders to specific enemy battalions.
Let's get these guys going. And there is friendly fire, by the way. So just be careful of that. Your catapults will hurt your own troops if they are in the line of fire. Come on, boys, keep it up.
The eagles have come. By the glory of Gondor, we shall send these goblins back to their netherworld.
Let's go. And just like that, they're dead. Cool.
Victory is ours! Great job, my lord! That ought to send those goblins back to their caves. Come back when you're ready to finish them off by playing through the advanced tutorial.
A shadow has been turned.
Alright, so that was the basic one. Now it's off to the advanced.
Welcome back, my lord. As you can see, we've been very busy here, but the attacks have yet to stop. The goblins seem to be coming from across the river. I suggest we take the fight to their base. Before we move forward, however, I would like to teach you some of the tactics that our battalions have been working on. Each battalion can enter a particular attack mode, or what we refer to as stances. These stances can boost their power or defense. Click on the Gondor Soldier Battalion in the spotlight.
Alright.
Make ready! Come on, soldier, move it!
I clicked it. What's up?
The stances button
Okay.
is located on the Palantir. If you click on it, it will bring up a menu with 3 stances to choose from.
That was a bit delayed, but whatever.
The battle stance is the default stance for all units, and renders no bonuses or negatives to a unit's abilities. The aggressive stance will increase a unit's offensive capabilities, while decreasing their defensive capabilities. And the hold ground stance will greatly increase a unit's defensive capabilities, while decreasing their offensive capabilities. Set the battalion you have selected into its aggressive stance by clicking on the aggressive stance button. Excellent. Now let's have our army form up into a battle line. In order to do this, select multiple battalions and move your cursor over to the spotlight. Now press and hold both the right and left mouse buttons and drag your mouse. You'll notice that a formation preview will display on the ground. Once you release the mouse buttons, your units will form up into this battle line. Now back to the matter at hand. We must take our army across the river and over to the enemy's base. In order to do so, we will need a shipwright. There's a shipwright to the east of here along the river. Move a battalion to the shipwright and capture it. Remember, to capture it, right-click on the flag next to it while having a battalion selected.
Alright. Pretty much just all basic stuff. This is the first time ships show up in the game as well. So, kind of fun.
The transport will ferry your troops across large bodies of water. Battleships will help destroy enemy ships that impede your way. It appears as though Gondor has sent reinforcements to aid us in our reclaiming of this mountain. Let's join up with them by building a transport of our own. Select the shipwright and click on the transport button to begin building one.
Alright, so we have Elven transport, and then Elven warships, and pretty much all good factions have Elven warships, even dwarves. Don't ask me why, but all good factions have the same ships, and all evil factions have Corsair ships. So, just a little bit interesting how they worked that out. Personally, I would have liked them to be a little bit more devoted more time to the different models, but whatever, it works. This game came out in like 2000, what, 2002, 2004.
Select your battalion and right-click on the transport. You'll notice that your cursor changes to a garrison icon. Other structures in Middle-earth can be garrisoned as well, so keep an eye out for that icon.
Move up! Come on, soldier, move it!
So yeah, at the time, I
Great.
think this was fine.
Now move your transport into the spotlight to join up with the rest of the convoy.
And the problem is that in the game, you can't really have... This is the furthest I can zoom out, so as far as the game goes. I could mod this up to the higher patches, but the higher patches sort of take too much content away from the base vanilla game that I kind of feel like it's acceptable not to have the zoom for the moment. Are you really having trouble with this? Come on. There we go. Get in there, boy.
A Nazgul! Watch out!
Oh, there he is.
It took out one of the transports. Hurry! Get to the beach quickly. Take down those Corsair ships. Send them to the bottom of the river. You've made it across, my lord.
Boom.
Well done. In order to deploy your units from a transport, select the transport ship and give it a move order on land.
There you go. Oh, that's where they want them. Can I go back and get my... I can. Okay, we'll send the transport back.
There's one of their camps up ahead. We'll have to rush them before they have a chance to retreat and warn any others. Issue an attack move order, and that should take care of them. To issue an attack move order, select your army and press the A key on your keyboard. This will change your cursor to an attack move cursor. Then, right-click on the ground in the spotlight behind the camp. This will send your army on a path of destruction to that point, killing every enemy they encounter.
Wipe them out. All of them. Cav is always solid, no matter what they say.
It appears as though some of the goblins have retreated over that wall. Unfortunately, goblins are able to scale walls by climbing them, whereas we are not. Nor do we have any siege weapons to take down those walls quickly. We'll have to call in for greater powers to help us progress any further. At your disposal is a list of powers that can be purchased from the even star icon, located on the Palantir. Click on the... As you can see, all the powers
didn't
are
mean to
tiered,
interrupt him.
which means you have to purchase the lower costing powers in order to access the more expensive ones. In order to purchase a power, you must have power points equal to or greater than the number associated with that power. Go ahead and purchase the Arrow Volley and Earthquake power. They are currently the only ones available to buy. To exit, click on the Accept button at the bottom of the screen.
Alright, there we go. Available to buy, quote
Every
unquote.
time you buy a new power, it will appear on the left-hand side of your screen, just above the Palantir. Now back to the battle. First, let's take down those goblins taunting us from the other side of the wall. Left-click on the Arrow Volley power, and move your cursor over the goblins. To cast the power, left-click on the ground.
It was right-click in the... Not familiar with one.
That got him good. Keep in mind that certain powers, such as Arrow Volley, can only be cast in areas that are visible to you. Now to get past this wall. Unfortunately, the gate is in disrepair and cannot be opened, so we'll have to destroy these walls. The Earthquake power will deal a significant amount of damage to these walls, and should be enough to clear our path. Left-click on the Earthquake power now, and left-click underneath those walls to cast it.
And this is what really makes Battlefield shine as an RTS.
The Goblin's main base is not much farther off. Continue north
Just
along
stuff like
the path
that.
and be
Just really
wary of any
cool.
more camps you encounter.
Swords! Ride! Together, knights, come!
But cool. Let's move forward. Let's see what's up here.
My lord, we're glad you've come. We've been keeping an eye on this goblin camp and have set up a trap for them. All we need to do now is set the forest ablaze around them, and it should spread into their camp.
Fire, my lord, has become a valuable asset as of late. Unfortunately, in our enemy's hands, it could also be a serious danger. Select the rangers who have joined you and have them volley their arrows into the spotlights. This will start a fire there, and you'll be able to watch it spread into the enemy's base, setting it ablaze and destroying their structures.
I've legit never used this feature in the game. I'm sorry. It has never been something that I've thought of doing. I think even way back when I first started playing the game, I remember trying to do it and it wouldn't work. So I don't know if it's just heavily forested areas or just something that the game wanted to do but couldn't get right. So they can stop. Those guys are gonna get wiped out. Here we go. Athelian archers are my favorites. I don't know, kind of morbid watching these guys burn to death, but they are goblins, so I'm not entirely sure if we should be concerned about that. At least in Tolkien fantasy, they're terrible things.
Their camps. Their main base is just to the west. We should move quickly lest they assemble and come to meet us unprepared.
Men of Gondor!
Yep. Still got troops all the way over here. Move these guys up, and then we will select everybody and go to town on them. Alright, let's go. Let's go, boys.
There's their main base. Those tunnels must be how they've been traveling through these mountains.
Looks like
One
it.
thing to note about their tunnels is that when destroyed, you must also destroy the rubble they leave behind. Otherwise, the tunnels will spring forth once more, and the goblins will be able to use them yet again. If we completely destroy their tunnels and their fortress, that should put a stop to them infesting these mountains once and for all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Let's go. Take out this mountain giant first. That's going to be the big guy. Big heavy hitter. Yep. Yep, heavy hitter on that. And just the destruction.
But their fortress is killing our army. Use your earthquake power again on their fortress, and it should take down their defenses.
Can't remember that's friendly fire outside the tutorial or not.
Ours. The goblin threat has been eliminated once and for all in this mountain pass. Minas Tirith will be pleased to hear of our victory, and may sleep safely knowing this pass is once again controlled by Gondor. And you, my lord, are now ready to vanquish more evil from Middle-earth. Take with you all that you have learned, and try a campaign, a skirmish versus the AI, or a multiplayer match online against your friends.
Yeah.
The shadow has been turned back.
And goodbye, Gondor. We will not be playing with you for story mode ever again. Alright, guys. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and play the opening cinematic for the game, and that'll be it for the video. So, I want to wish you all a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it, and I pray God keeps you all safe and wise in these crazy times. And until the next video, peace.